Please remain standing for the platform party.
Please remain standing. I wish to acknowledge this land we gather on today at Upper Canada College. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of many peoples, including the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and more recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to gather and to learn on this land. Would you please remain standing as we sing our national anthem? Please be seated. Mr. Russell Higgins, class of 1981, Chair of the Board of Governors. Mr. Matthew Johnson, class of 1995, President of the Association Council. Parents, grandparents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and most importantly, boys. It is my honor and privilege to speak briefly with you on this very special occasion, the celebration of our 2018 leaving class. Firstly, let me begin by saying congratulations to the boys for reaching this significant milestone. For some of you, the journey began 13 years ago in an SK class with Miss Carly Crippen. The rest commenced along the way, perhaps as recently as last year. For all of you, your time as a student at UCC concludes today, and your time as an old boy begins. You are now and will always be a UCC Blue. Congratulations to the parents present as well. I know too well as a parent at the college that the boys don't walk alone. You're right there with them every step of the way, through the times of triumph and especially when there are setbacks. Yesterday at the leaving class dinner, Blair Sharp reminded the boys of the tremendously important role that you've played in their lives and of the thank you that they owe you for your sacrifices and your support. I certainly echo Blair's thoughts. And speaking of Blair, I'd like to pause here to acknowledge him and 3 others who also graduate from UCC at the end of this year. Mr. Kevin Olds joined UCC in 1989, and for the last 29 years, he's quietly gone about his business, teaching science and pioneering our computer science program. He's been the chair of both the science and computer science departments and was a longtime advisor in Howard's House, and he certainly coached extensively. Mr. Blair Sharp also joined UCC in 1989, initially teaching geography, history, and English. His charisma and genuine love of teaching has resonated with boys for 29 years. He's been an advisor and senior housemaster, and he's coached extensively, briefly as a JV football coach, and for his entire 29 years as a JV hockey and junior rugby coach. Fittingly, both Kevin and Blair are seated alongside the boys, as they have been throughout their careers. In 1987, Mr. Evan Williams joined the science department at UCC, and along the way, he's been an advisor in both WEDS and Howard's, then senior housemaster of Martlands. He's coached volleyball, hockey, and lacrosse teams, winning several CISA championships along the way. For the last 10 years, he's served as the college's Dean of Students, overseeing all aspects of the daily schedule, assemblies, student leadership, student discipline, and the advising program. Mr. Derek Poon joined UCC in 1984, 34 years ago. I was still in high school. As a teacher and faculty chair of physical education, associate and senior house advisor of McHugh's, assistant head of upper school middle years, head of the intermediate division, and coach of varsity volleyball and varsity tennis, Derek has left an indelible mark on the college. He is equally respected by parents, faculty, and boys for his calm demeanor and common sense perspective, as well as his genuine warmth and good humor. Ladies and gentlemen and boys, would you please join me in thanking all four of these gentlemen for their extraordinary contributions to UCC and the impact that they've had on the lives of a generation of boys. UCC's new strategic directions have been a significant theme of the 2017-18 academic year, and I won't be surprised to hear a groan from the boys or the parents, as the directions have been a topic of a number of presentations I've made throughout the year. But I wanted to speak to one specific aspect of the directions this afternoon as a way of reflecting on the contributions of our graduates to the life of the college. I don't want to talk about the vision or the mission that guide us, and not about the goals, priorities, and objectives that have been developed. Rather, I want to talk about the values that form the foundation of UCC. Values that were identified through conversation and collaboration with our full community. Old boys, current boys, parents, faculty, and staff. While it was important for us to go through the exercise of identifying and documenting our values, they are only truly meaningful if we live them. So how did we do with our 5 defined values? Learning, pluralism, service, community, and well-being. Learning about yourself and the world is at the heart of a UCC education. This has occurred for the leaving class within and outside the classroom in so many different ways this year. There have been extraordinary performances on the stages of the college, and our musicians have been superb. Boys, you have led the college, you have led our sports and debate Model United Nations team to significant victories, and you've represented the college with great pride. You've partnered with your teachers to tackle challenges of the diploma program, and you thoroughly are deserving of the exceptional results you will have achieved in your recent examinations. In all respects, learning is thriving at UCC. You've demonstrated that a UCC experience is about more than just an appreciation of diversity. It's about celebrating differences, cherishing similarities, and giving voice to multiple perspectives. Through activities like the recent Truth and Reconciliation Week, you've increased our understanding of pluralism, and you've laid the foundation for a more inclusive and just UCC community. You've honored Sir John Colborne's founding commitment to public purpose by being service-minded leaders through your support of Horizons and peer tutoring, the Daily Bread Food Bank, the Hospital for Sick Kids, Habitat for Humanity, Amnesty International, among others. You've acted with empathy and humility and begun to embrace the opportunity and responsibility of making a difference in your local and global communities. I certainly hope that the other-mindedness you've developed and demonstrated guides your future involvement in service opportunities. Our community is made up of differences in ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, socioeconomic standing, and throughout this year, you've proven that UCC's culture can be characterized by teamwork, collaboration, mutual respect, and strong and trusting relationships. You will be remembered as being a cohesive group, without significant divisions or cliques, and you've demonstrated the very best characteristics of brotherhood. You've demonstrated an emerging understanding of the importance of individual and collective well-being through I Believe speeches at Assembly and your engagement in activities such as the recent student-led Synapse Forum. Mental health awareness is increasing, as is your understanding of the importance of positive relationships, sleep, and nutrition. Boys, in all respects, you've lived the values of the college, and we're a better community as a result. Now, as it's highly likely that this will be the last time the class of 2018 is gathered together in one place, let me send you off from this portion of the service with an Irish blessing, one that used to hang on my grandmother's kitchen wall. It's been slightly modified to suit this occasion. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall softly upon your fields. And until you meet again, may you be embraced by the warmth and comfort of the brotherhood you share. It's now my pleasure to invite forward UCC's very own Poet Laureate, Mr. Julian Bald, to present a poem entitled A Well in the Field, written especially for this occasion. Julian.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Mr. McKinney, Platform Party, graduates, and families, it's an honor to bring poetry to this occasion. This afternoon, I will share a poem about a well. There are many metaphors for a school, but today, think of this school as a well. Someone builds a school, fills it with knowledge, and then welcomes students. Somebody somewhere built a well and waits for the water to come. You get the idea? Today, think of what you have learned, what you now know, and what you can do with it. Knowledge, like water, wants a place to be, and you carry it. Like water, it has no beginning and end, and without it, we can't survive. A well in the field. Before they hung the city lights or even made the streets, before the edge of town was called the edge, bird and badger, shepherd and thief came to a well in the field. It doesn't matter where it stood or if the stones have fallen loose. The water is insistent in the ground, cool and dark, coursing toward a cut in the earth for release. Thirst gives us the strangest ache. To douse it, we must divine, dig, drop and draw, pull pails upward, lift, then raise and drink, to taste the stones of a brook on our lips. Some shoulder water skins when they leave. Others roll barrels, heave pots to where they are called. And within, the water laps above its heavy weight, eager to be spilled again. Which is older, water or the well? You can ask that question any day, and of almost anything. Thought or books, love or looks. Both answers will reveal the same. We carry with us what we know, and soon we'll put it down within the many rooms that learn our name. Though when struck with thirst, recall when first you were drawn to the well in the field. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Bald, and thank you, Mr. McKinney. Members of the class of 2018, parents, relatives, colleagues, and friends, welcome. Stephen Hawking died earlier this year at the age of 76. A brilliant theoretical physicist, Hawking was renowned for his research on gravity and the properties of black holes. He was a model of determination, reliant on a wheelchair and voice synthesizer for most of his life to deal with the effects of a motor neuron disease. He spent his career pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge. Along the way, he captured popular imagination with best-selling writings on space and time and appearances on TV shows like The Simpsons and The Big Bang Theory. Hawking was famously a fairly average student. He once said he found little worth caring about in his early studies. It was only later that he discovered his calling in a quest to understand the universe. Hawking knew the importance of work as a source of joy, meaning, and purpose. He equally understood the importance of fostering connection, remarking, "It would not be much of a universe if it wasn't home to the people you love." There's something we all recognize, I think, in Hawking's persistent quest to push his own limits and to understand the world. It's the spirit of learning, that ongoing journey of adventure, challenge, and transformation. It's the spirit that sits at the heart of a UCC education, and it fills this room today as we gather to honor the leaving class of 2018. To the members of the class of 2018, congratulations. Today we celebrate you and acknowledge the qualities that have helped you on your journey to this point: your spirit of inquiry, your care for one another, and your willingness and determination to push the boundaries of what you know and can do in pursuit of growth and your best self. This is a solid platform. Step confidently into the future and seek your joy and purpose in its spectrum of possibilities. As you leave us today, our advice to you borrows from Hawking. He said, "Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't give up." Thanks. We'll now begin this part of the ceremony with a presentation of academic prizes. The descriptions of all academic prizes begin on page 2 of your program booklet. I'd like to invite Mr. McKinney and Mr. Williams to assist with this task. Would William McCready, Hazen Enman, Julian Samek, Surya Pandya-Raju, Robert Dean, Maxime Barbeau de Mayo please come forward now? The Stephen Leacock Prize in English has been won for English literature by William McCready. The prize for English language and literature has been won by Hazen Enman. The JNC Sharp Prize in Mathematics has been won by Julian Samek. Julian, I'll get you to please circle back to the line. The Dr. E. Moore Prize in Higher Level Chemistry is shared this year by Surya Pandya-Raju and Robert Dean. And Robert, please circle back to the line. The Chemistry Prize Standard Level is awarded to Julian Semek. The Finnerty Prize in Senior Biology has been won by Robert Dean. The Biology Prize Standard Level is won by Maxime Barbeau de Mayo. Would Julian Semek, Adam Rothman, Vladimir Kindea, Cole Moretsky, Samuel Fleischer, Cooper Mendelson Grass, and David Nidham Dent please come forward? The J.A. Gillum Prize in Higher Level Physics is awarded to Julian Semek. The Physics Prize Standard Level is won by Adam Rothman. The B.M. Littlejohn Prize in Environmental Systems is shared by Vladimir Kindea and Cole Moretsky. Poor Cole, it's okay. Go ahead. The Sports Exercise and Health Science Prize is won by Samuel Fleischer. The Martin Lambert Wills and Anne Campbell Wills Prize in History is awarded to Cooper Mendelson Grass and David Nidham Dent. Come on up, David. Would Arian Palawal, Julian Semek, Ambrose Chan, Saeed Khan, Vladimir Kindea, Samuel Fleischer, Hazen Enman, and Charlie Hughes please come forward? The winners of the Economics Prize, higher level, are Arian Palawal and Julian Semek. For standard level economics, the prize goes to Ambrose Chan. The philosophy prize is won by Saeed Khan. The film prize goes to Vladimir Kindea. Vlad, please circle back to the line. The Sainsbury Family Prize in Geography has been won by Samuel Fleischer. The George P. Grant Prize for Theory of Knowledge and the University of Toronto National Book Award go to Vladimir Kindea. The Wed Prize in Classics is shared by Hazen Enman and Charlie Hughes. Charlie. Would Hazen Enman, Robert Dean, Christopher Munn, Valentine Leo, Edward Yan, Aidan Herodance, Rupert Davies, Joshua Neufeld, and Sabian Velji please come forward? The international nature of the IB curriculum is recognized in the Moderns Prizes, which acknowledge proficiency in modern languages. Today we'll be awarding prizes for proficiency in French, Spanish, Abenicio Spanish, and Mandarin. The prize for proficiency in French higher level is won by Hazen Enman. For French standard level, the prize is won by Robert Dean. The prize for proficiency in Spanish is won by Christopher Munn. Jae-Young Tsai could not be with us today. He is the winner of the prize for Abenicio Spanish. The prize for proficiency in Mandarin is won by Valentine Leo and Edward Yan. The John Howard Prize in Art is awarded to Aidan Herodance. The Nathan L. and Ruth Lowe Sandler Music Composition Prize is shared this year by Rupert Davies and Joshua Neufeld. The Theater Arts Prize goes to Sabian Velji. This concludes the presentation of academic prizes. Thank you, Mr. Williams. You may have a seat. And Mr. Poon, can you please come forward to assist with the next awards? We will now present the extracurricular awards. I'd like to draw your attention to page 4 of your program booklet, where the detailed descriptions of these prizes begin. And I'll ask Devin Lee, Jacob Chung, Matthew Wong, Adam Rothman, David Nidham-Dent to please come forward. The Robertson Davies Award for Drama and the Andrew T. Wilson Award go to Devin Lee. The Richard Sadler Prize in Music is won by Jacob Chung. JC, I'll ask you to please circle back to the line. The Wallace Rankin Nesbitt Prize for Debating and Public Speaking goes to Matthew Wong. The Harris Prize in Current Affairs is shared this year by Adam Rothman and David Nidham-Dent. I'd like to acknowledge J.D. Duvernay, class of 2014, who's with us today, and to announce that the Duvernay Prize in Photography is awarded to Jae-Young Tsai. He is absent today, but we congratulate him and also extend our thanks to Mr. Duvernay and the Duvernay family. Can I call up Don Coasso to present the next award? The Donald Coasso Award for Arts and Academics is won by Jacob Chung. Thank you, Mr. Coasso. Would Devin Lee, Benjamin Gavert-Steele, Adam Rothman, Matthew Wang, Carson Lau, and Vladimir Candia please come forward? The Ponton Prize for the College Times fiction is won by Devin Lee. The Ponton Prize for the College Times poetry is won by Benjamin Gavert-Steele. The Ponton Prize for the College Times journalism goes to Adam Rothman. The Willis S. McLeese Prize for Debating goes to Matthew Wang. Could I ask Andrew McCaig from the class of 1999 to please come forward to present the next awards? The Barry McCaig Award for Community Service and the Randy Carver 82 Award go this year to Carson Lau. Thank you, Mr. McCaig. The Bruce M. Hicks Public Service Award is won by Vladimir Candia. Would Adam Rothman, Tyler Tam, Aidan Heaney, Joseph Hill, James Flynn, Elliot McDermott, Rupert Davies, Calvin Jeffrey, William McCready, Tristan Vaillancourt-Gauthier, Christopher Wilcox, Matthew Wang, and Nixon Sinathurai please come forward? The Michael Evan Jurist Award this year goes to Adam Rothman. The Principal's Art Purchase Award goes to Tyler Tam. The Bill Stewart Prize is won by Aidan Heaney. Would Mr. John Thompson, class of 1988, please come forward to present the next prize? This year's winner of the class of '88 award is Joseph Hill. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. The Dan O'Riolini Medal in Athletics is awarded to James Flynn. Would Robin Logie, class of 1950, please come forward? The Alexander Logie Medal is established in memory of Robin's father, Mr. Alexander Logie. The medal is won this year by Elliot McDermott. Thank you very much, Mr. Logie. Elliot, can you please circle back to the line? And Mr. McBride, would you please come forward? We'll now recognize the Lang Scholars from this year's leaving class. And gentlemen, I'll ask you to please come forward as I call your name. Rupert Davies. Calvin Jeffrey. William McCready. Elliot McDermott. Tristan Vaillancourt Gauthier. Christopher Wilcox. Thanks, Mr. McBride. The Class of '62 trophy is awarded to Matthew Wang. The Lieutenant Governor's Community Volunteer Award goes to Nixon Sinathurai. It's now my honor to recognize the Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award winners. Gentlemen, please stand in your place when I call your name and remain standing, and guests, I'll ask you to please hold your applause for a moment. Campbell Burgess, Scott Cable, Ambrose Chan, Christopher Cusinado, Cole Moretsky, Rohan Manga, Andrew O'Reilly, Nixon Sinathurai, Christopher Wilcox. Well done, gentlemen. And now the Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award winners. Gentlemen, please stand when I call your name and remain standing, and guests, please hold your applause for a moment. The Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award winners are Campbell Burgess, Ambrose Chan, Christopher Cusinado, Andrew O'Reilly, Surin Rao. Congratulations. This year we have one winner of the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award. Ambrose Chan, can you please stand and be recognized? CAS stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. At a special assembly held in the spring, many members of the leaving class were acknowledged for exceptional achievements in their CAS program. It's my honor to recognize them again in this forum. CAS Portfolio Awards honor students who compile an outstanding portfolio of work in creativity, activity, and service during their last 2 years at the college. Could I ask the 4 Portfolio Award winners to stand together and be acknowledged at this time? They are Jonathan Chu, Alexander Quinn, Teddy Littler, and Matthew Wang. Stand, please. Well done. We will now recognize the recipients of Community Service Gold and Silver Ties. The Gold Award winners have given over 200 hours, and the Silver Award winners have given over 100 hours working alongside our community partners. Would those students who earned Community Service Gold and Silver Ties please stand together now to be recognized by the audience? Well done, gentlemen. Would Miss Elizabeth Mason please come forward to present the J. Herbert Mason medals? The J. Herbert Mason medals are named for John Herbert Mason, Miss Mason's grandfather. They honor leadership, strength of character, and moral courage. They were first presented at Upper Canada College in 1888. Members of the leaving class vote on the winners of these medals. This year's winners are Vladimir Kindea and Elliot McDermott. Thank you, Ms. Mason. The Colborne Medal, named after our founder, has been struck and awarded each year to our head steward. I'm proud to announce this year's recipient of the Colborne Medal, Adam Rothman. Can I now ask the survivors to please come forward and assemble at the foot of the stage? Jackson Boydell, Campbell Burgess, Ambrose Chan, Thomas Gormley, Carson Lau, Alessandro Manchetti, Isaac Ng, James Onischuk, Julian Samek, Jack Tannenbaum, Matthew Wright, and James Uretzian. Students who enter the prep in senior kindergarten and continue without interruption through to graduation are noteworthy for many things. One thing they have in common is perseverance. Well done, gentlemen. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Poon and Mr. McKinney. You may now have a seat. The leaving class has chosen Vladimir Kindea to speak on their behalf, and I'll ask him to come forward now.
Cherished parents and families, members of the faculty, administration, advancement, admissions, dear members of the platform party, Dr. Julia Kinnear, Mr. Evan Williams, Mr. Derek Poon, Mr. Matthew Johnson, Mr. Russ Higgins, Principal Sam McKinney, and finally, dear friends. 2 years ago, when first walking in the quad under a clear blue sky, I could not have imagined this privilege of speaking before you today on behalf of UCC's class of 2018. This opportunity reflects a lot about the spirit of this place. And for this honor and trust, I cannot be more grateful of. But before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few individuals who are retiring from their crucial positions this year. Mr. Poon, I think that your smile is one of the first things that every single student will remember from their time at UCC, because with your warm presence and your words of wisdom, it simply never leaves you. Mr. Williams, from the youthful energy you put into organizing so many things and activities for us, to this sense of fairness that you have when dealing with very delicate situations, you've also had an incomparable impact on every single one of us. Mr. Sharp, even though I didn't have the chance to have you as a teacher, your daily hellos in the halls, and especially your speech from last evening, speak volume about the care that you have for us all. And Mr. Olds, I cannot count the number of students who told me about the positivity that you're spreading in the school. We wish you all the best moving forward and could not be more proud to be graduating with you this year. On behalf of the class of 2018, thank you. Dear friends, how could we encapsulate this feeling that we all share today? This bittersweet emotion which we have felt during the last few weeks and months, torn between this will to defeat the IB and this desire to share the last few moments with the very special individuals that we've come to know over the years. Well, anticipating this very difficult moment to say goodbye, here we finally are, gathering together to celebrate before diving into the exciting but intimidating adventure that life will be for every single one of us. Congratulations to all, félicitations à tous. And as I didn't know exactly how to address this common feeling, I was also very aware that we've all experienced UCC in a very different way. As some grew up on these grounds since SK, others joined us only a few years ago. As some discovered their artistic passions or thrived on athletic fields, others faced unthinkable hardships that forced them to reinvent themselves. And as some could not have felt more included within this tight community, we've all gone through periods in which we could not have felt more alone. We've all experienced our time at UCC in a very different way, and these realities comprise the unique environment that UCC is, and which has, at its core, its individuals. And as there's not enough time today to recount so many memories and ways through which the last few years have forged not only our brains, but our characters, a simple thought crosses my mind to share a very personal story about a very personal man and special man, my grandfather. When I went back to Romania 4 years ago, this place in the world that I often thought of as my golden land, I decided to spend a lot of time with this man whose age was quickly catching up to him. I asked questions, and despite my fragile memory, my grandfather shared so much about himself. How he lost his mother at an early age, how he had to take care of his younger brothers, how he had to work at an age when kids are supposed to learn how to run after a ball. And he also told me about this place he was born, a small village located some 20 kilometers from the city where I was born. So I remember, as if it was yesterday, how I jumped on a bike with a cousin of mine and decided to go and find out where my family came from. I remember how this old and rocky road led me to this beautiful house of the past. And as I think about it right now, something really hits me, because achieving this important step of our life that graduating is, our sight is directed to a future full of unlimited opportunities, trips, experiences. But taking this same old and beautiful road, I believe that it is even more important to look behind us and to understand how our past finally led us to become who we are today. We must recognize the impact of these faces, smiles, tears, conversations, people, families, and friends who together shape who we are. Indeed, I would like to capture this moment to express to all of you how strong relationships how important they are to me. These same strong relationships which are continuously building an endless universe within ourselves. When I ask some of you what the bonds you've woven at UCC mean to you, I noticed a very similar reaction, an absent look and a silence filled with fondness towards all these individuals we love and we call friends. These teammates who've got our backs when we needed it the most. These brave writers who share the most intimate thoughts in Convergence, The Blue and White, College Time, and Quiddity publications. These runners who've climbed the highest hills together. These debaters and mourners who had to stand up and speak out during very difficult conversations. These house games that weds always ends up losing. These cutting-edge technologies, skills that some had the patience to learn, these swimmers who have had to push each other to go further and faster, breath after breath, these musicians who have blown us away with the powerful notes, these rowers who not only had to develop a crazy work ethic, but also all mysteriously seemed to be incredibly good guys. These actors, filmmakers, and visual artists who not only scared and moved us with their passion, but drew us into the land of their imagination. These genuine individuals who understood that life isn't all about expectations and standards, and whom we've always enjoyed chatting with in class. These boarders whom we've seen being so diligent by day, but who also helped us go through the darkest nights away from home. These clubs in which we met our first friends, and finally, as we travel from one place to another, these serious conversations about life. This being said, none of those relationships could have been cultivated without the dedicated support of the adults who have been daily interacting with. This teacher and house advisor who not only taught classes and shared what is the most essential in our educational system, life experiences, but also who sat down at all hours to help us overcome the limits we put on ourselves. This coach not only pushed ourselves to persevere and become the best version of ourselves, but who also acknowledged the real value of a team in our lives and created the conditions for us to seek human interactions with each other. This club supervisor who invested heart and soul into our projects so that not only our skills could flourish, but our passion driving them. The incredible individuals from the health center, the Center for Learning, and from the library who guided so many of our reflections, work strategies, and literary suggestions. This university counselor that believed in us and helped us get closer to our dreams. These adults who were and will forever be role models for all of us. And finally, these parents and families who've already and will unconditionally continue to support us in our most challenging hours and brightest seconds. So yes, when we close our eyes and think about UCC, it is these very special individuals and relationships that we feel deep in our hearts. But although we are able to recollect these very positive memories, I believe that our strong relationships also led us to have some very important and challenging conversations. From speakers invited, but especially from students of different cultures and backgrounds who had the courage to walk up on stage at assembly and share about the hardships of their lives, we have all embraced and absorbed the most impactful and powerful addresses between the walls of Laidlaw Hall about language, consent, sexual orientation, and gender, to race, class, privilege, and our relationship with the other. These invisible barriers that continue to unjustifiably divide our society. And I praise this community for the value that it has seen in including individuals having different perspectives within it. From the generous financial assistance program, which firmly indicates the position of this institution regarding a future where equal access to opportunity can become a reality, to the newly arrived Syrian refugee family that UCC sponsors, and the meaningful reflection about Canadian reconciliation with its Indigenous peoples we've committed ourselves to pursue, it is remarkable to realize how much we all grow and how far we all go when listening to people's different voices. Ultimately, we are all interconnected and depend on each other, and this is why we must be aware that this environment that we've grown up in is far away from the reality that so many others are living. We must not lose contact with the real world. And speaking before you today makes me question what really differentiates an individual who comes from UCC and an immigrant who settled in Canada only a few years ago. Is there any difference in terms of potential based on class, race, and gender? Or are we, as human beings, all capable of striving for greatness? Are the barriers that I've just acknowledged what keeps us from doing so? What if the difference that distinguishes a student who attends UCC from one who does not is simply access to this opportunity? So let's embrace this pluralistic idea of relationships for the rest of our lives, and let's knock down these barriers. Let's not be afraid to approach the other and build these beautiful bonds with individuals who are outside of our community, especially when tackling the biggest and the greatest challenges of our time, because no matter the field no matter the field of study or work we want to pursue, from science to commerce to arts and rights, we are all already facing the undeniable reality of climate change and the worldwide rise of populism and isolationism that stands up against the same idea of relationships that we are celebrating today. I started this address by mentioning a golden land, but I have to admit that this golden land is not a country or a physical place anymore. It is something a lot more metaphysical. It is the state of mind in which, when closing our eyes, we can feel the presence of each other and relive our best memories. It is the time that we spend together that provides us purpose and happiness, and I find immeasurable value in it. I believe in the strength of unbreakable bonds, and the power of intangible friendships, and in the virtue of living authentic moments. So let's breathe with the sincerity of our hearts to find out the poetry of our lives, and most importantly, let's never walk alone. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Vlad. We'll now present the bilingual leaving class certificates. Many of our students who attend UCC from abroad, and even some who attend from Canada, face challenges over and above the IB diploma program. In many cases, they are living away from home for the first time, studying the diploma in a language that's not their native tongue. Bilingual diploma holders have studied more than one language at the A or first language level. Would Maxime Barbeau-Dimeo, Yassine Belkou, Vladimir Candia, Tristan Vaillancourt-Gauthier, and Valentine Leo come forward? And Mr. McKinney, could I ask you to please come forward to assist with the presentation of the bilingual leaving class certificates? For French, the certificates are awarded to Maxime Barbeau-Dimeo. Yassine Belkou. Vladimir Candia. And Tristan Vaillancourt-Gauthier. A bilingual leaving class certificate for Mandarin is awarded to Valentine Leo. Thank you, Mr. McKinney. Before the presentation of the leaving class, please rise for the school hymn, which you will find on the last page of the program booklet. seated. And now the presentation of the leaving class of 2018 by the principal, Mr. Sam McKinney, the chair of the Board of Governors, Mr. Russell Higgins, and the president of the Upper Canada College Association, Mr. Matthew Johnson. I'll ask them to come forward now. Each boy will receive his UCC Leaving Class certificate and a UCC Old Boy tie, along with a special gift from the UCC Parent Organization. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge current PO President Kim Enns. The gift from the Parent Organization will be presented by incoming President Karita Sheehy. We'll begin with Seton's House, and I would now ask Gareth Evans and Amit Morris to come forward.
On behalf of the Setons and WED Senior House advisors and graduates, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the residential faculty and staff for their dedication to the boarding program. Your efforts and commitment are truly appreciated. It's now a pleasure for Dr. Morris and me to introduce the 2018 leaving class for Seton's House. Parents, family, and friends, please hold your applause until all graduates have walked across the stage. Evan Beck, Williamstown, Ontario. Unique, independent, and sincere, Evan is well known for his creativity and artistry in being the first student to build a life-size boat in his dorm room. While at the college, Evan dedicated time to robotics, cross-country, and volunteering for the Terry Fox Foundation and blood drives. Evan's friendly demeanor and caring approach to our new boys will be difficult to replace. Vladimir Kindia, Montreal. Prefect, valedictorian, and recipient of the prestigious Loran Scholarship for demonstrating strong character, commitment to service, and strong leadership. Despite a long list of accomplishments, Vlad is best known for his genuine approach to learning and humility. Vlad is most proud of his contributions to UCC's Amnesty International Club, college film, and the many friendships he's established over the last 2 years. Calvin Jeffrey, Port Hope, Ontario. Calvin's passion for UCC and strong work ethic allowed him to devote considerable time to the college. Calvin is a prefect, 3-term varsity athlete, Blue Army General, member of the Blue Notes, and a Lang Scholar. However, most impressive about Calvin is his approachability and willingness to think of others before himself. Calvin could always be counted on to lead by example. Vladislav Kotov, Kazakhstan. Described by many as a well-respected Setonian and good friend, Vlad has always been a quiet and dependable presence in Seton's House. He's dedicated time to cross-country, was the number 2 seed on the varsity tennis team, and could always be counted on to support his younger housemates. It was always a pleasure discussing issues impacting residential life with Vlad. Alex Ozapov, Moscow, Russia. A 5-year veteran, prefect, social steward, and hype beast. Alex is our current record holder for most online purchases of Supreme merchandise. And we suspect he's a high-profile shareholder in the company. Alex has earned the respect of his peers by always maintaining a good-natured and courteous demeanor. His contributions to the Board of Stewards, varsity tennis, and his passionate efforts to win house soccer have not gone unnoticed. Dante Rienzo, Montreal. A true gentleman, dedicated student athlete, and thoughtful housemate. Whether it be navigating a rigorous varsity hockey calendar, punishing opponents on the gridiron, or lending an attentive ear to a friend, Dante always stepped up when required and set a respectful tone for his fellow Setonians. His unflappable nature, valuable insights into boarding life, and calming presence will be sorely missed. Ryder Thasuska. As our devoted head of house, a captain on the varsity hockey and lacrosse teams, Ryder is known for his selfless approach to leadership and willingness to make sacrifices for the sake of others. Despite having his teeth knocked out and sustaining a serious sports injury, Ryder courageously battled on to ensure a strong finish to his UCC career. Maybe most importantly, many argue that he's our most passionate player of Fortnite in Seton's house.
From Montreal, Quebec, Matthew Baird. Mature and dependable, Matt was this year's elder statesman of Seton's. A prefect who modeled resilience and integrity, his very name became a kind of mantra to close each house meeting. Matt always found ways to contribute mightily to every team of which he was a part, helping to lead the hockey and football teams to success. Thanks, Matt. From Montreal, Quebec, Yassine Belkou. Yassine wears his heart on his sleeve. He's passionate, warm, and enthusiastic. A prefect and a natural mentor, he was always looking out for others in the house and encouraged us all to hold ourselves to high standards. As a football captain and a rugby recruit, Yassine modeled devotion to developing the body as well as the mind. Thanks, Yassine. From Toronto, Ontario, Raymu Digba. A quiet and thoughtfully observant young man with a calm demeanor, Ray has a wry sense of humor that sneaks up on you. He's well connected to his peers in the house and supported them by coordinating Seton's nightly peer tutoring, and also by running the Super Smash Brothers tournament, in which he was easily the favorite. Thanks, Ray. From Moscow, Russia, Alexander Kazakov. A good-natured and friendly young man, Alex is a 5-year veteran of Seton's and has always been a support to his peers. With his analytic skills, he represented the house well in math and computer contests. Not one to demand the spotlight, Alex's notable creative and artistic talents come into focus the longer you know him. Thanks, Alex, and well done. From Taipei, Taiwan, Gordon Kung. Gordon is artistic and independent and quietly contributed behind the scenes in ways that aren't always recognized. As co-editor of the College Times yearbook, he helped to create one of the most durable mementos we'll have of this year, and he also brought his considerable skills to the World Affairs Conference as head of media. Thanks, Gordon. From Xi'an, China, Victor Li. A philosophical and reflective young man, Victor is always ready to engage in a discussion about the meaning of it all with his characteristic humor and insight. The image I'll most remember of Victor is when he stunned Seton's in his first house track, putting what seemed like 20 meters between him and the next runner. Congratulations, Victor. From Alicante, Spain, Oscar Peralera. Fluent in 3 languages, Oscar is a communicator. He enjoys expressing himself through film and shared his enthusiasm for languages and culture as co-head of the Spanish Club and by competing in Mandarin contests. A self-confident young man with a courteous manner, Oscar helped us keep an eye on the boarding house to ensure all was running smoothly. Thanks, Oscar. We present to you the Seton's House leaving class of 2018. And now, Dr. Baxter and Mr. Baudouin will present Wed's House.
Mr. Baudouin and I are proud to introduce the leaving class for WEDS. Jonathan Chu, Hong Kong. You'd never know it from his quiet demeanor and disarming smile, but Chewy is a fierce competitor, most notably in the pool, where he had multiple CAS, AA, and officer championships, but also on the WEDS table tennis table, and in any disagreement you might choose to have with him. Gianluca Gianantuono, Montreal. A varsity football and rugby player, although injury has plagued his career at UCC, Yanni found his calling as a father figure to the boys in WEDS. More manly than I could ever be, he's been a mature, loyal, and dependable prefect who is always willing to tell it to the boys like it is. Rashil Suri, Dubai. Dignified and respectful, but willing to fight for a cause, Rash has been both an oasis of calm and a firm voice of reason as a prefect in WEDS. Always a patron of house sports, he led the house soccer team to a famous victory without ever raising his voice. Julian Zhao, Beijing. Having lived a low-key life in boarding for 4 years, Julian recently emerged from WED's creative underworld as a talented singer-songwriter. A quiet, conscientious, and respectful student, he has learned how to succeed academically here and has made some lasting friendships along the way.
From Montreal, Quebec, Maxime Barbeau-Demille. A bright young man who shares his opinion at will and who displays an edge that brings out the best of him and everybody around him. Max was voted and served with dedication as community steward, an all-star cornerback on the varsity football team, and a tremendous leader in WEDS. P.S. Don't ever walk in his room with your shoes on. From Shenyang, China, Charles Dang. Quite frankly, one of the kindest young men I've ever had the opportunity to know. He would go out of his way to help any of his peers at any time. Charles has been successful to whatever he puts his mind to. Case in point, becoming a decent hockey player after never having been on skates or ever seen the game before his arrival here 3 years ago. Valentine Liu, from Boarding, China. Quiet and calm would be the first impression of Valentine, but if you're lucky, you hear him sing opera and be mesmerized. Valentine has been a steady young man who has gone about his business in his time at UCC. His honesty, courage, and kindness will long be remembered in WEDS. From Kingston, Ontario, Elliot McDermott. To say he's one of a kind is an understatement, and let me tell you why. Head of house in WEDS, Stu Lang Scholar, team captain of the varsity volleyball, hockey, and rugby teams, and recipient of the Alexander Logie Medal for top athlete. But here's the kicker. He's an even better person, and one who my youngest daughter has been wanting to adopt as a brother for the last 3 years. From Lévis, Quebec, Tristan Gauthier Vaillancourt. Tristan was a prefect in WEDS and member of national championship varsity hockey team and track team, along with being a Stu Lang Scholar. I challenge you to find a harder-working young man who displays such grace and selflessness. Tu es vraiment d'une classe à part, Tristan. Merci. From Shenzhen, China, Daniel Wang. Daniel is a 4-year brother in WEDS, and all these years I've never seen him without sporting a smile. A diligent worker who's mature beyond his years, Daniel always made time for his peers and never once boasted about his immense talents across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, graduation class of WEDS for 2018. I would like to invite Ms. Medlin in Bremner's house, please.
On behalf of Bremner's dedicated advising team, it is my pleasure to introduce the 2018 Bremner's graduating class. Paul Babbitts. Please don't let his serious demeanor fool you. Paul also boasts a smile that can light up a room and has a playful sense of humor to match. A standout on both the track team and in the SAS, Paul excelled both athletically and academically at the college. Josh Golden. An adored head of house, approachable to all, Josh really embodied the meaning of brotherhood. With a contagious laugh and a daring sense of humor, Josh led our house with his heart and will be most remembered for getting us all to the games and being for the boys. Thomas Gormley. A leader both on and off the field, Thomas's contributions to football, rugby, and to his advising group won't soon be forgotten. Also, an avid lover of history and travel, I can personally attest to Thomas's remarkable ability to consume Viennese pastry. Max Hardesty. Quiet, considered, thoughtful, Max's sense of kindness and patience shines through. A lover of both science and literature, and with a deep curiosity for the world around him, Max leaves the college amply prepared for what lies ahead. Aidan Herodens. An exceptionally talented artist, Aidan's showcases for evenings like Nuit Bleue were appreciated by so many. A member of the varsity track team and a reputed leader in his advising group, Aidan's contributions to the college will be sorely missed. Joe Hill. He had us laughing at assembly as creativity steward. He stood out on the football field. He moved us in Shakespeare performances, so the real question remains, what is it that Joe can't do? Most significantly, however, Joe is remembered as being one of the most kind and sincere students at this school. Charlie Hughes, an unmatchable wit, a sharp, biting sense of humor, and a dramaturge in the making, Charlie always kept us on our toes. Charlie leaves the college with many accomplishments, including an unblemished assembly attendance record. Saeed Khan, head of the robotics club, avid debater, computer science member, and all-around good guy, Saeed enjoyed so much the college had to offer, including a trip to China. We send him off with all of our best. Vasu Lambathoran, known for his friendly, approachable nature, Vasu is commended for his volunteer work at Sunnybrook and is affectionately understood to be a doctor in waiting. Though you always bleed blue, we look forward to one day seeing you in white. John Mace, quiet, steady, a lover of math and sciences, John embodies the notion of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Indeed, he helped to run the booth at almost every assembly, and we were so grateful for his contributions, but also a little concerned about what's going to happen next year. Conrad Mahoney, actor, varsity football player, model UN secretary, WAC organizing committee member, and active prefect, Conrad puts the meaning in all-around achiever. Most notably, however, Conrad is remembered for being a wonderful brother to all his boys in blue. Cole Moretsky, intelligent, mature, co-head of the Jewish Culture Club, and a fantastic student across all disciplines, Cole leaves his mark at the college as a respected mentor and role model. We couldn't be more excited to see what the future holds in store for him and what he will achieve. Rowan Monga, beloved prefect to our house, rower, WAC treasurer, and Horizons math tutor, we have all benefited from Rowan's affable nature and inherent kindness. He will be sorely missed in Bremner's house, and we wish him so much happiness in his next chapter. Julian Samick. If we look up leadership in the dictionary, we may very likely find Julian's photo there. Poised, mature, and humble, as prefect, Julian has always gone the extra mile for Bremners and never asked for any acknowledgement in return. Moreover, Julian has enjoyed stunning academic success, as we might have noticed before, and we know he will always continue to shine moving forward. Andrew Situ. Possessing a calm, quiet confidence most of us long for, Andrew has enjoyed thoughtful activities at the college, such as chess and Horizons. We anticipate a bright future for Andrew, and we wish him all the best as he moves on to his next chapter. Liang Shizu. A cherished prefect, willing to take on any task, Liangshi leaves a legacy of leadership and maturity. Moreover, with his work as program director at the Synapse Conference and his passion for science, Liangshi departs the college with all of us eager to see what stunning contributions he will make in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Bremners leaving class of 2018. I would now like to call up Miss Bina Evans to introduce the graduating class of Howards. Thank you.
It is a privilege for me to introduce the 2018 leaving class for Howard's House. Scott Cable. Scott is a loyal housemate and friend who enjoys injecting humor into his daily interactions. A stellar prefect, JV hockey manager, DECA, and Model United Nations club member. We'll never forget Scott's rosy cheeks and overall optimism. Zoan Dai. Arrived to UCC in year 9 and has remained dedicated to his academics. Varsity cross-country runner and Horizons member. He's best described by this Swedish proverb, fear less, hope more. Whine less, breathe more, talk less, say more, and all good things are yours. Robbie Dean, a diligent and passionate student who is respected by all for the dedication he puts into all that he does. Varsity cricket, Horizons member, musician in the senior wind ensemble, as well as the jazz president. His duet with a fellow BSS student will forever be a highlight. Liam Dunn, easygoing, funny, and friendly. Liam has been a dependable and enthusiastic prefect, a true leader on the lacrosse field, JV hockey player, and a committed Green School member. Liam is always a pleasure to be around. Hazen Edmond, an accomplished curler and a hyper-polyglot, or in other words, a natural-born linguist. He is passionate about languages and excited to already be enrolled in third-year language courses at university in the fall. Convergence Club member and an invaluable Latin tutor. Ian Flint, charming, thoughtful, and a wordsmith. Ian earned the respect of his Howard's brothers as early as the Norval retreat when he was just in grade 7. A top-notch Howard's prefect, varsity lacrosse player, Green School, and Horizons Club member. Michael Kagan, organized, curious, and a young man who can always get the job done. Michael was an outstanding and enthusiastic head of house, club executive member for the Model United Nations, integral member of the DECA Club, and a true leader on the junior varsity hockey team. Fez Kawaja, witty, intelligent, and by far our best-dressed Howard's man. History Club member, varsity soccer player, and captain of the varsity cricket team. The cricket pitch is where his strategic thinking, stamina, and passion come alive. Tyler Lamb, a jack of all trades, comfortable acting on the stage in a musical, playing in the band, on the baseball diamond, or playing a match on the squash court. Varsity baseball and squash player, member of the senior jazz ensemble, DECA, Free the Children, and Mock Trial Club member. Carson Lau. Our head of house describes him literally as the GOAT. By far, one of the kindest individuals alive and a silent leader who basically runs the school behind the scenes and in the AV booth in Laidlaw Hall. Chair of the CAS Advisory Committee, College Times, Admissions Ambassador, and the ultimate parent-teacher monitor, not to mention our survivor. Campbell McKinnon, interesting, enthusiastic, and genuine, a vital member of the Model United Nations team, OMP, Reach for the Top, and the varsity squash and tennis teams. His commitment to house soccer and house hockey has remained steadfast since his early IDIV days and is truly appreciated. Alessandro Menchietti, caring, bright, and athletic. Alessandro is a loyal friend who enjoys sharing many inside jokes with his housemate Michael and buddies Sean and Hilly. A survivor, JV soccer captain, and a member of the Free the Children Club. Ben Nashman, our Howard's artful dodger, making strong connections with his housemates, yet rarely seen during assemblies or house meetings. For good reason, though. He's busy developing medical devices at Mount Sinai Hospital, an academic and an entrepreneur who's committed to his learning, his passions, and his goals. Josh Neufeld, an amicable and dedicated Howard's prefect. Josh believes in giving back, was the senior editor of Convergence, the president of the Wind Ensemble, member of the jazz band, swim team manager, and a house soccer all-star. Koilan Paramanatham, Coco, our sustainability steward, a thinker, a doer, a great actor, and a true friend. His many impressive performances have graced our stage over the years, and his ability to immerse himself in character will forever be remembered. WAC, Model United Nations, and Black History Club member. Vasily Stanos, gentle and kind. Vasily's good nature is forever present. He is best remembered for his fine sense of style at this year's bat ball and for being the ultimate host to many of the boys over the year. Digital media and chess club member. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2018 Howard's Leaving Class. I would now like to call upon Mr. Andrew McDougall to introduce the young men from Jackson's House.
Families, friends, faculty, and staff, on behalf of its advisors, I am pleased to present the leaving class members from Jackson's House. Jacob Chung, a virtuoso saxophonist and a major contributor to our music programs, he has wowed us countless times at Assembly and Nuit Bleu. He'll be remembered for his happy demeanor, his sense of humor, and the strong bonds he has formed with his peers. Ali Diani, known by all as a hardworking, kind, and a supportive individual. He has truly made the most of his time at the college and was involved in the Humanitarian Club as the club head and is an avid participant in house sports, leading Jackson's to the house basketball championship. James Flynn. James always found time to have fun here, even during the busiest of times. One of the best squash players to ever represent the school, a member of the varsity tennis team, and a dedicated student. His contributions will truly be remembered. Cameron Hansen. His sense of humor and wit have been cherished in our house. He has made a huge impact in several programs at the school, including being the Horizons Robotics Club head, a member of the Robotics Club, and a club head of the Outdoors Club. Aidan Heaney. Head of Jackson's House, he has been a true friend to his peers and a mentor to our younger students. The house soccer MVP and all-time leading scorer in house soccer, robotics club head, he has always had an encouragement and positive attitude for all. He has truly been infectious to the younger members of our house. Teddy Littler. His contributions to the college have been many. A passionate member of varsity improv, a varsity squash player, and a dedicated prefect to our house. No one in our house was more energetic and enthusiastic this year in rallying everyone together for house sports. Bahadur Porvakil. His sense of humor and enthusiasm were infectious in all aspects of school life. He brought the same passion to the basketball court and was a real leader for the varsity team this year. Surin Rao. A prefect in our house, he was unafraid to roll up his sleeves and do what needed to be done. He has enjoyed his work as a peer tutor, and some of his best memories come from the rowing trips he's taken during his time at the college. His hard work will be missed by Jackson's House. David Rumack. Ask anyone that knows David, and they will tell you he's the most positive and friendly guy you will ever meet. A member of the Cosmology Club, he is hardworking and kind, and truly cherishes the many friendships he's made at the college. Nixon Sinatorai, a prefect in Jackson's House and legendary for his kindness, sense of humor, rap skills, and dance moves. He has enjoyed being the club head of the fencing club, among many other co-curricular involvements at the college. Lee Wallace, always smiling and laughing, he has enjoyed many aspects of the school, such as house sports, the Humanitarian Aid Club, and the Black History Club. He will always remember the bonds he has formed with our community at events such as Bat Ball and A-Day. James Uretzian, always managing to see the good in any situation, he'll be remembered by all for his kindness and hardworking attitude. A true leader on the varsity basketball team and captain, his ability to make clutch game-winning shots will be missed as he moves on. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the 2018 leaving class of Jackson's House. I'd like to call up Miss Ann Kay to approach the stage and present the graduates from Martlin's House. Thank you.
Thank you. May I just... I'm pleased to present to you the leaving class members from Martland's House. Jackson Boydell, prefect, survivor, varsity basketball, sneakerhead. Jackson is a joyful and determined young man with an independent spirit and a positive outlook on life. His humor and charisma energized our house's leadership team this year. Benjamin Broer, varsity soccer, leaving class editor of the College Times, key member of our house hockey championship team, artiste. Ben has been a Martland's enthusiast since year one by demonstrating great loyalty and a dedication to house sports. We wish him the best as he goes on to explore his love for the arts and design. Campbell Burgess, head of house, survivor, varsity football and varsity tennis, co-head of the Sustainability Council. Since year one, Campbell hoped to lead our house, and once that wish became reality, he led Martland's in spectacular fashion with a reliable and competitive approach. We hope he continues the environmental research that has become a passion for him here at UCC. Armand Dogra, prefect, peer tutor, senior jazz band, Horizons tutor. Armand looks forward to life beyond UCC, but will miss raucous late-night band rehearsals with the boys and the relationships he built as a mentor to younger students. Evan Enns, actor, Model UN, volunteer and advocate for diabetes research, soccer coach. Evan's diverse list of creative and humanitarian activities while at UCC have inspired his vision for the kind of impact he wants to have in the future. Culminating from these experiences, he is excited to study international relations this fall. Noah Lee, JV hockey, varsity cricket. Noah's dry sense of humor has been developing steadily and intensely since year one. Upon graduating, he notes that he will miss French class with Mrs. Lowndes and his time being coached by Mr. Sharp. Sebastian Levy, Horizons tutor, advising group's fashion expert, enviable accent. Sebastian was always willing to share his unique insights and comic flair. He tells me that he will miss the connections and friends he made in the house and looks forward to trading stories of their accomplishments for years to come. Aidan Lazola, Digital Arts Club, College Times photographer, artsy guy. Strong-willed and determined to convince you that your way is wrong, Aidan showcased his creative and genuine personality to all who crossed his path. Mrs. Lowndes describes him as a pillar of her HL French class. Isaac Ng, survivor, Science Club and Engineering Society, Horizons tutor, parent-teacher interview monitor. Isaac's honest and friendly demeanor has endeared him to all that know him. He notes that he will miss the bond that the Year 12 guys in Martland's have formed over the past 5 years, and since they will surely keep in touch, he will end up missing his teachers the most. Jamie Honestchuk, prefect, survivor, senior jazz band and wind ensemble, Model UN, varsity football, JV hockey, track and field. Jamie is quite the Renaissance man. His diverse athletic and artistic accomplishments have been highlights of his high school career. We were thrilled to discover his secret passion for singing this year. Ariane Poliwell, head of Free the Children Club, varsity swimming, Model UN, World Affairs Conference, Horizon tutor. Ariane cherishes the sense of community at UCC and the time he spent traveling with the Model UN delegation and hosting the conference at UCC. Having spent a good deal of time with Mr. Grimm, he is grateful for discovering a passion for economics during his IB years. Lachlan Rigby, prefect, varsity cricket, wind ensemble, Horizons tutor. Lachlan is an authentic and socially aware individual, as demonstrated through his volunteer work at hospitals and with refugee families. He notes that he will miss the camaraderie that he has developed with the boys in the house and looks forward to keeping close ties with them in the future. Grant Turner, JV soccer, JV hockey, varsity lacrosse. Grant has been very active over these past 5 years. He is proud to have been involved in many different sports throughout his time at UCC and notes that he will miss Friday afternoon pep rallies and team road trips. On behalf of all the advisors of Martland's House, please join me in congratulating the boys from Martland's House. I now invite Ms. Fatima Ramtula to present the boys from McHugh's house. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the advisors, I am pleased to present to you the leaving class members from McHugh's House. Christopher Cusinato. Kuzi, the only name I've ever known him by, was McHugh's fearless leader, always showing commitment and love for the house and for the college. His most memorable moments have taken place on the ice, with the boys yelling and cheering them on toward victory. Samuel Fleischer. Prefect, Vice President for External Affairs of MUN, Undersecretary General of Committees for OMUN, President of Entrepreneurial Club and the Mock Trial Club. Sammy somehow found time for his academics while still being good-humored, positive, and generous with spirit and time. Adam Francescuti. Adam is described as bright and inquisitive. His thoughtful nature and natural curiosity have led him to have a wide variety of discussions with a range of people and personalities, always finding some way of connecting with others so that they feel seen and heard. Bryson Hood. Bryson would never be known as a dark and brooding artist with his kind nature. However, he did love every moment of his time on the art trips to New York. These provided him with the opportunity to explore the city, life, and art at length. Tian Yang Jiang. Well-rounded is a great descriptor for Jeff. Head of DECA and the Engineering Society, member of the cross-country and varsity badminton teams, and peer tutor. There is very little that he did not contribute to life here at UCC, and I'm sure Jeff will contribute much to the university of his choice. William Lee. Will is likely to be remembered as someone who rarely seemed to be fazed by whatever curveballs were thrown his way. Regardless of what tasks were in his way, academics or football, he tried to help and support other people when he could. Ian McDowell. Ian is the rightful lead for the Reach for the Top Club, as his repository of trivia knowledge is unmatched and astounding. He was active in the arts as a member of the senior jazz band and then the school's musical Theory of Relativity. We await to see what Ian has in store. Adil Nadalwala. Prefect, head of debate club, and an active leader in DECA, Adil's impact in the leadership realm is felt throughout the school. His dimples make an appearance when he flashes his smile. His quick wit and sometimes lame jokes make others feel very comfortable and cared for. Zachary Nathan. Thoughtful, pensive, and detail-oriented are words Zach's teachers have used to describe him. His involvement in UCC life shows contributions to Model UN, Reach for the Top, and all things related to computer science. David Nidham Dent. Academic steward, Model United Nations, Mock Trial, and the Blazer. David exemplifies dedication by having managed a balance with his social, co-curricular, and academic obligations. He will treasure his time on Model UN trips, bringing home the hardware, and of course sharing his time and effort with the boys of McHugh's. Jackson Purchase. Jackson does not have a red and blue tie, but his dedication to McHugh's has been evident to me from the start. He is supportive of his boys in the leaving class and will promote house sports and participation in meetings, teaching younger boys what life can be like when you believe in the brotherhood. Christopher Stonehouse. Prefect, wisecracker, and all-around good guy. Stonehouse is someone who consistently surprises you with his kindness and goofiness, is hidden behind his wry sense of humor, but he has a heart of gold. Norman Struthers. You'd never know that he was a sailing superstar until he returns from a competition with a golden tan. Norman is one of the most humble people I've ever met. With all his success in the classroom and out on the water, you can see that he is able to deal with the pressures of his busy life. Stay golden, Norman. Konstantinos Tatsos. Prefect, dramatic artist, and athlete. Koch is well-rounded in all aspects of school life. His positive energy, sense of humor, and leadership in McHugh's have really led others to know that you can have fun and keep up with commitments while having a smile on your face. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2018 graduating class from McHugh's House. Mario Storino, if you could please approach the podium to present the graduates from Mowbray's.
On behalf of the entire Mowbray's advising team, it is my pleasure to introduce the 2018 leaving class for Mowbray's House. Ambrose Chan. Quiet and unassuming, Ambrose has been a committed member of both the cross-country and rowing teams. He also gave much of his time serving as the editor for College Times. David Chow, who unfortunately cannot be here. David is one of our prefects. He arrived here in grade 11 and had an immediate impact with his fellow Mowbravians, but most notably with the varsity volleyball team, where his talents helped him achieve great success. Milad Fard. No one has put more time to let Jim than Milad. While working to improve his basketball skills, Milad also found time to be an important member of both the cross-country and swim teams. Benjamin Givert Steele. Quiet and thoughtful, Benjamin carved out his own niche here at UCC, being a very committed member of the rowing team while still finding time to pursue his other passion, which is making music. Dennis Cavan, our head of house. Dennis has done it all. He played football and basketball. He took part in theater production, and he also found time to grow his hair. An exemplary young man who gave everything he had to the school and to the house. Michael McGovern. Over his years with us, Michael worked hard to strive a balance between academics and athletics. He contributed a great deal to the basketball and cross-country teams, as well as to the computer science club. Christopher Munn. Another one of our prefects, Christopher has grown and matured into a fine young man who once pursued the sport of rowing with great fervor. He has since turned his sights on to trying to be a competitive cross-country runner and keen member of the Outdoors Club. Simon Osak. Simon, also one of our prefects, is best known for his motivational words as the rowing coxswain. His leadership extends to other programs such as the World Affairs Conference as well as the jazz band. Surya Pandiraju. Always respectful and cooperative, Surya has been a model citizen of UCC. He has given his time to many groups, including the badminton team, as well as the science club and Horizons programs. Alexander Quinn, our trivia master. Alexander has often amazed his peers with his wealth of knowledge during both debates and reach for the top competitions. He's also displayed his talents as a member of both the rowing and cross-country programs. Mitchell Robinson, our final prefect. Mitchell has given so much of himself to the house. Always keen and positive, he has fulfilled his role with great success and sincerity. He was also a member of a very successful squash team, capturing multiple CISA titles over the past 4 years. Adam Rothman, head steward. For someone who joined us in grade 9, Adam has accomplished so much, and deservedly so. In addition to his leadership role, he's also contributed a great deal to football and hockey programs, but balances athletic achievements with equally impressive performances with the debate and Model UN clubs. Sheldon Stern. As much as Sheldon loved basketball and its flow, his true love lies in the world of film. Sheldon was the go-to guy here to see whenever anyone had a film project to do, and we were all lucky enough to see his work in assembly on a regular basis. Jack Tannenbaum. Soft-spoken and sincere, Jack will be missed here at UCC. He has over time given a great deal to the house, the U16 basketball team, and the World Affairs Conference. He is a great kid, and I wish him all the best as he moves on. Sabian Velji. Voted best dressed member of the 2018 leaving class, Sabian is a well-liked and engaged young man. He has contributed his talents to many groups over the years, which include the soccer team, College Times, and most recently, the CAS Advisory Committee. And finally, Carl Winberg. A quiet and thoughtful man, Carl has been an active and contributing member to many groups such as football and rugby teams, as well as a talented trumpet player for the senior jazz band. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2018 leaving class from Mowbray's House. I'd now like to call Ms. Charlotte Oss up to the podium to present Orr's House.
On behalf of our dedicated advising team, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the ORS 2018 leaving class. Our first graduate is Joseph Cami. Joseph's enthusiasm and positive energy brighten the lives of all those to whom he is connected. Our upbeat and stylish prefect will leave with his fabulous memories of dance parties in the locker room after varsity football wins. Jason Dale. Thoughtful and mature, Jason took full advantage of life at UCC. A pleasure to listen to as a member of the senior jazz band, a racket sport player, an academic superstar, and a constant source of kindness, he exemplifies balance. Rupert Davies, our reflective and well-spoken arts captain, Rupert inspired his peers to find their passion as he has with music. His hardworking and dedicated nature led him to excel in the classroom and on the water as a top varsity rower. Maddie Gray. Maddie demonstrated a true love of learning and thoroughly enjoyed life inside and outside of the classroom. With his consistent smile, house hockey leadership, and passion for oars, Maddie also left his mark by co-heading the Jewish Culture Club. Hilly Goldar. Charismatic and full of positive energy, Hilly was a leader in oars as a prefect. A star on the soccer pitch and house hockey ice, he made strong connections with his peers and teammates who greatly appreciated his friendliness. Ty Greenberg. Ty's ever-present smile was infectious, and he led with kindness as he shone in virtually every aspect of school life. A highly respected prefect, he made notable contributions to the volleyball team each year with his athleticism and exemplary sportsmanship. Sean Langlois. A friendly and outgoing young man, Sean cares deeply about his peers. He effectively balanced his time between friends, academics, varsity soccer, and being a house sports star. In every setting, he consistently spread his optimism and great humor. Chris Lord. A true Renaissance man, Chris was wholeheartedly involved in a diverse range of co-curriculars. Contributing to the theater program both on and off stage, he also shone on the pitch as a member of the varsity rugby and soccer teams. Andrew Spears. To say that Andrew loves his UCC brothers would be an understatement. And they love our head of house with a heart of gold right back. A loyal friend and hardworking football player, his dedication to the house was unparalleled. Tyler Tam. It was a joy to hear Tyler speak passionately about his art at Nuit Bleu. His work was a stunning expression of his creativity that he generously shared. He further inspired younger students through his openness and work with robotics. Rashid Tucker. Our athletic steward and football superstar, Rashid's athletic prowess is only matched by his kindness. Extremely respectful and mature, he exemplifies the qualities of a Lang scholar, always exerting a remarkable effort as both a student and an athlete. Matthew Wing. Matthew's noteworthy speaking skills and critical thinking contributed to him thriving on the debate team. His positive impact on the school was immeasurable through his work in the AV booth, his leadership with robotics, and most notably, his role modeling. Chris Wilcox. Exuding gratitude and thoughtfulness, Chris flourished in his role as prefect. He is an extraordinary rower who was pivotal to the team's success. His exceptional work ethic and commitment to improving also contributed to him thriving in the classroom. Eddie Yan. Few will forget watching Eddie excel on the ice. He made notable contributions to the varsity hockey team's exceptional season, culminating with the national championship win. We will also remember his ubiquitous smile and infectious joie de vivre. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the ORS leaving class of 2018. I would now like to call up Mr. Reed Jeffrey to introduce the graduating class from Scattings.
And the boys from Scattings House. Jack Boyden. One of our prefects, he is known for his steadiness under pressure and his clear sense of right and wrong. Thank you, Jack, for always being ready, willing, and able to help out. Jeffrey Ng. A bright young man with mature insights. When you observe Jeffrey interacting with his peers and juniors, you can see he has a knack for teaching and mentoring. Devin Lee. He dabbled with many activities in his early years and found his passion with theater. If you attended one of our Shakespeare productions, you likely were impressed with Devin's capture of character. He is impressive. Will McCready. One of our prefects, Will is a principled young man who holds the bar high for himself. The quintessential big brother, I will remember him as one who always follows through and delivers. Cooper Mendelson Grass. One of our prefects, intellectually curious and always looking to make connections. Cooper is one of those students teachers love to have in their class. Speaking of class, he has it, and initiative too. Andrew O'Reilly. Disciplined, hardworking. Andrew is a leader in the house and on the track and field and cross-country teams. When focused, this young man reaches great heights. Max Pentland. One of our Blue Army generals, Max knows very well the importance of supporting his brothers. He is a loyal friend, a hardworking teammate, and a solid character. Jack Prince. His advisor notes a lively and boisterous spirit who, when focused on the task, takes everyone along with him. Jack, you've come a long way since your first pass through the upper school doors. Joseph Samuel. He doesn't jump through hoops, and he strives to make sense of things. When you get him on board, he is a powerful ally. Joseph, I appreciated your flybys to drop in for a chat. Adam Sayani. Our head of house, he always made an effort to ensure all were having a good experience. In the early years, Adam's path was a difficult one. Throughout, he made a point of never taking things for granted and being positive. Justin Simmons. Watching him hit baseballs out of the park in house softball and placing golf balls with surgical precision on the course, we will remember Justin's finesse in sport and his witty sense of humor. Matthew Wright. One of our prefects, Matthew is the good soldier. He tackles challenges head on, knows what has to be done, and executes. We will miss his even-keeled perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of Upper Canada College 2018.
Thanks very much, Senior House Advisors and graduates. I'd like to take this moment to recognize all our faculty and staff whose efforts have made possible this ceremony and the reception to follow. Thank you also to our parent organization for their gift to the leaving class and the beautiful floral arrangements adorning the school. One final time, leaving class 2018, let's stand together to sing Never Walk Alone. This concludes our leaving class ceremony. Graduates, please remember to pick up your personalized copy of College Times and the Quiddity Literary Publication in the front hall. I would invite everyone to join us in the Student Center for a reception and would ask our guests to remain until the platform party, prize presenters, and the graduates have exited. Thanks very much.